how do you win? And I literally have a math lapel pin on, so I have to know what the numbers are. I love the numbers. It's so much fun. It is like a startup. Startup to save the world. So
I almost wore my varsity math T-shirt. But it's like from the high school and like a little bit ratty. Yeah,
we should leave you one. So I'd be honored if you wore it. So the steps for the campaign are, we have a couple short-term goals, and then the bigger goals come February. So right now we're polling, depending upon the poll, let's call it 3 to 5% in early states and nationally. We have unusually high support in New Hampshire because they just have an independent streak, a lot of libertarians there, and it's an open primary. So the polls of 3 to 5% that we're getting underestimate our support for a few reasons. Number one, the majority of them are conducted via landline. And the Yang Gang and landlines are not really a hugely overlapping set. They also tend to call registered Democrats for many of these polls, and we have unusual strength among independents and even Republicans who are switching. So this 3 to 5% does not measure our true strength. We have just started advertising for the first time like 6 days ago, which is also unusual for the campaigns. And I made a couple jokes about this. I was like, I'm Asian, so I like to hoard the money. That was one joke. So we raised $10 million last quarter, and we didn't spend it on ads, and then we just started spending it last week. And so you're going to see our numbers in Iowa rise because we're now talking to Iowans in a different way than we had previously. And right now you're seeing a massive surge in Pete Buttigieg's numbers. It wasn't that Iowans just woke up one day and were like, ooh, I like that Pete fellow. It was that Pete spent millions of dollars on paid ads starting about 5 weeks ago, and then that stuff takes a certain period of time to start showing up in the polls. So we started last week, and then you're going to see the impact in the polls several weeks from now in Iowa. So that's going to help ensure that we make the debates in December, because we're then going to be at more than 4% in both Iowa and New Hampshire, which will both get polled multiple times. And then the next step is to try and get delegates in the early states to a point where we're still fighting when it comes to Super Tuesday here in California and Texas and North Carolina and some other states that are really, really good for us. So if you look around at the map, aside from New Hampshire, we're strong in Nevada, in part because it's got a higher density of Asians, and Asians like me for some reason. But also Nevada's ground zero for the automation of jobs. Like where if you look at their industries, it's hospitality and retail and call centers and transportation. Number one in the entire country for a proportion of jobs that are going to be lost to automation, and they're already feeling it. MGM already fired hundreds of bartenders and replaced them with robot bartenders. It turns out tourists like the robot bartenders. And MGM's like, did the math and was like, oh, I'll get paid back within 6 years, and that's a pretty good deal. So Nevada, we're unusually strong, and California, we're unusually strong. We outpolled Kamala Harris in one poll here in California. So the goal is to do well enough in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina, so we're playing come Super Tuesday, and then we can get delegates all over the place. This is a very fragmented field, and the fragmented field is also good for us. If there was one very, very clear, powerful frontrunner, then it would be less achievable for us to hoover up delegates and then be a player when it comes to the convention. But we can surprise to the extreme upside in New Hampshire in particular.